Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back to Becoming Her. I'm getting so used to saying that. It's like almost sounds annoying because I'm like, why do they need to hear that every single week? But like, duh, it's a podcast. It needs to have an intro. Yeah. Salam, guys. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you guys are all having a good month so far. This month has been honestly not the best for me. So I'm actually going to treat today's episode more like a journal or diary entry versus being my usual lock-in diaries, this is how you can change your life vibes. It's gonna be more about me just opening up about how I've been feeling lately with everything in general and kind of just ranting. So, get a coffee, get a tea. It's gonna be a little rant sesh from your girl. So let's start off with the very beginning. So this month was supposed to be Locktober. I started the Lock-in Diaries series for us to all lock in together, to grow together, to work on our iman, to work at the gym, to work on our health, all the goals and plans and everything that we had, and really lock in and take advantage of the month of October. And so mentally, I think I started off that way. I started off really strong, but honestly, we're 2 weeks into October and I feel really behind. I feel stuck. I feel like my progress this month has been kind of slow. I'm not really where I was expecting to be at this point of the month, halfway through the month. And so there was actually a conversation that I had with a friend over this weekend, and it sparked a lot of reflection in my mind, and it's all about embarrassment about struggles in faith. And so I was just kind of talking and opening up and discussing, not necessarily always feeling exactly where I should be, specifically when it comes to faith. So that could be, struggling to pray at all, or struggling to pray on time, struggling to have khushu or, focus in prayer, struggling to feel that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, struggling to feel like sometimes I feel like I'm cosplaying being Muslim, if that's like the way to explain it, I guess. I feel like I go through the motions, I do what I know I'm supposed to do, but then I'm not 100% fully deeply connected in my heart like I want to be. And I was feeling kind of embarrassed about that when I was thinking about that this past weekend. And I was really just reflecting on it and thinking about, why am I feeling like this? And I've been feeling like this for a while, and I think I've kind of just been pushing it off and ignoring it because, let's be so for real, Islamic habits are probably the hardest habits to start doing because we have shaitan whispering at us, to not do them. All the other habits we have, of course, they're bettering ourselves, they're bettering our lives, they're bettering the things around us. But the habits tied specifically to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the habits that are solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and because we're Muslims, are sometimes the hardest habits to actually genuinely stick with. So basically, I've been feeling behind, and I wanted to kind of just open up about this and remind both myself and the listeners, you guys, if any of you have been feeling this way, our progress isn't linear, and it's not always going to be a upwards trajectory. We're not going to always be constantly improving, learning new surahs all the time, or finding ourselves at the masjid for every prayer, and it's so easy and like it's so amazing. Inshallah, we all get there, and inshallah, that is what happens to all of us, but that's not realistic. Life happens. We get really busy. There's a lot of things going on in a day-to-day, and alhamdulillah, there are only 5 prayers, but also sometimes that seems like a lot. And so I have been really trying to take a step back and dial in my focus of like what is important to me. And for me, I want salah to be the most stressful thing for me to like miss, or salah to be the most important thing of my day. Like, I want to only be stressed if I was to be later to miss salah. I want that to be my main focus. And then everything else throughout my day, including the things that I need to do daily, like cooking and cleaning and working and everything. I want my dream idea, my dream goal of becoming her is salah to be my main focus of my entire day. Now, have I had moments where that was the case? 1000%. But lately I haven't been feeling that way. And I've been feeling like I'm dragging myself to salah some days. But alhamdulillah, I'm getting it done. I just really want to work on building that connection more with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That being said, I've watched quite a few lectures and heard some people talk about this in general online. And it's like, how do you expect to have a relationship with someone that you're you're not putting any effort into the friendship or into the relationship. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is constantly just waiting for me to have a conversation with him, to pray and to connect with him. And it's me who's holding myself back from the relationship. And so, of course, if I'm not doing my best to be as focused as I can in prayer, or making dua as frequently as I should be, or simply just sitting and having a conversation, whether it's out loud or in my head, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, telling him my struggles, telling him my goals, my dreams, everything that I want out of this life and the afterlife, inshallah, how do I expect to feel a connection to him if I'm not meeting him, not even halfway, but even further than that? They say you take one step towards Allah, or you take a step walking towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he will come running towards you. And I think I kind of forgot that, and I just have been going through the motions, like this is what I know I need to do, and I've been doing it, but that's about it. And so basically this whole podcast is about salah, I guess, all of a sudden, but that is the thing that I feel like I want to be focusing on the most out of everything. Of course, working out is important. Of course, eating healthy, having a morning routine, journaling, all these things are so amazing for you and your mental health and for feeling your best version of yourself. But what are all those things without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, without connecting to the creator? For me, I think that's why October has been feeling like it's kind of been failing a bit. I mean, we're only halfway through the month, so I'm trying to see this more as like we have still another half of the month left for me to reach these goals that I want to reach and for me to work on myself. And it's better that I recognize this now than just ignoring it and constantly just feeling this sense of emptiness or like I'm missing something. So I just kind of wanted to be honest about some of the struggles that I've been going through. I wanted to kind of normalize it because I don't think people talk about it enough. It seems like online or just in general, Islam and salah and reading Quran and all these things come so naturally and so easily to people, and it's something that nobody seems to be struggling with. Obviously, we are all human. Obviously, Iman is something that goes up and down. It's not just like a straight line, and it's not constantly just improving. Talking about it, in my hopes in talking about it, is to make other people feel heard and feel like it's okay to struggle, and struggling and at least recognizing the struggle instead of ignoring it and acting like everything's okay is a million times better than just pretending like you are doing what you should be doing. So one small thing that I'm trying to do moving forward is having as much focus as I can in my salah. So a few things I've been thinking about is if you were going out with a friend. So like I said, I went out this weekend for coffee with a friend. If you're going out with your friend, imagine the whole time that your friend is speaking to you, you were dazed off, thinking about other things, looking at other things, thinking about, oh, what am I going to make tonight for dinner, or that new show that's coming out tonight, or whatever it might be. And the whole time they're talking, you're not really giving them that energy. What kind of friend would that make you? Not a good one, obviously. And so in salah, that is like our meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is our hang out with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm trying to be more present and think about it that way, that this is my hangout with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is my time to connect with him, to say what's on my mind, and to just dedicate a time in my day to slow down, remember that this life is temporary, to have a conversation with my creator. And this was mandatory and made a fard thing for a reason, not forgetting that. And everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to do is for a reason, to benefit our own selves. I'm really just trying to have as much focus as I can and treat it like a hangout, get ready, put on like a little perfume, and just make it a little moment instead of just something that I'm checking off my to-do list, which is kind of what it was feeling like it was becoming for me for a little while. And then the same thing with reading Quran. I have been making it the goal to read the clear Quran this year. It's been a little bit slow for me lately, I'm not gonna lie. I think I had a really strong start at the beginning of the year, and then it kind of slowed down. I really liked to read it. I liked to dissect it and try to understand each verse, each line, do some research if something was confusing to me. And so I really want to get back in the rhythm of that, because I think understanding our faith is so important. We may feel it in our heart, and we feel the connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart, but understanding the religion, understanding what's in the Quran is also extremely important. And just learning the Quran and understanding the meaning of a lot of things and why we do things. So those are my two main focuses when it comes to my iman and things that I want to focus on. And of course, I'm still working on my other goals, so I'm trying my best to still eat healthier, work out, get my sleep, all those things. But I think prioritizing salah is going to help me inshallah, reach all my other goals so much easier, because when you have Allah on your side and you're making that constant conversation with him, you're making that dua, you are going to him in all these moments, it's going to make these worldly goals that you have a lot easier than if you were to just ignore him or rush through the motions. Now, that being said, I also have been doing some research about the luteal phase and something called PMDD. So if you haven't listened to our menstruation or like menstrual cycle episode, I highly recommend it because there's so much good information on it. But basically, the luteal phase is the phase right before your period. So typically it's 2 weeks before your period. And so for me, I have realized that I think I struggle with PMDD, which is like a extreme version of PMS. So definitely look into it if you think you have something similar. Basically, for 2 weeks of the month, I do not feel like myself. I feel completely off. I have mood swings, dips in my energy, and I don't feel like following any of my goals, including my Islamic ones. I don't want to do anything. I'm so out of it. And so I have been doing some research into it, just trying to remind myself that when you have any kind of disorder, because I guess it's technically a disorder, whether it is a mood disorder, anxiety, or depression, even if it's something undiagnosed and you just know you have those days where you really feel off and you don't quite feel like yourself, that is not laziness or weakness. It's just part of being a human and giving yourself some grace and understanding that not every day is going to be the same. Not every week is going to be the same. Trying to come up with what are your bare minimums, even on a day where your mental health is maybe not doing the best. So for me, my bare minimums is still praying my 5 salah. And that's honestly it. Like if that's all I do in an entire day, I pray my 5 salah that I'm supposed to pray, then I won. Obviously, there are so many other goals and things that we're working on. But at the end of the day, if you're not having a good mental health day or you've been struggling because of external things, there's always something that could be happening in someone's life. But if I'm at least getting my 5 salah done, then I won. And so to stop putting so much pressure on myself for all of these habits and all of these goals, of course, I am working hard towards them. And I know in other episodes I talk about pushing yourself. And of course that's important, but also we are human. And there's only a certain level that you can push yourself to. So figure out what your bare minimum is on a day that maybe you're not doing the best mentally, and make sure to just at least get that done for yourself, and everything else leave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this episode kind of turned into something I don't really know what it is, to be honest, but I just wanted to acknowledge that this series, the lock-in series, wasn't just about locking in like those 90-day arcs that we're seeing all over social media, you know, like the winter arc, lock in, get your dream body, hide for 3 months and become a new person, all of that. That was never the intention of this lock-in series for me. It was all about growth and just trying to remember what my goals were at the beginning of the year and then how can I get there. And so I think starting this series is actually what has made me lean into so much of this reflection about feeling behind and feeling embarrassed about my level of deen, to be honest. But I think that's exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, and I think that's exactly what I needed. I needed that wake-up call. I was stuck in that mindset of just going through the motions, getting my salah done, getting what I need to get done, even with outside of religious things, you know, just going to the gym, showing up and doing whatever. But like, it's time to really lock in into yourself. Feel connected with yourself. Feel connected with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Build these routines, not just for the image of it or what it looks like when other people online do it, but building these routines to truly benefit ourselves, benefit our lives, and make the day-to-day easier. Make it easier for ourselves to practice our faith. Make it easier for ourselves to take care of our bodies, to take care of our health, to build our relationships with the people we love in our lives. Although I felt like it kind of was a waste, I almost wanted to scrap this whole idea and be like, you know what? I didn't lock in. What is this lock-in series? Like, it's halfway through October. I haven't really done anything that I wanted to do. But realistically, this series is what opened my eyes to so many things that I was ignoring. And yes, I maybe was focusing on all these other external worldly things, which of course, like I said, is not a bad thing. But I was forgetting about some of the staples that I should be prioritizing, and that is my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, really pouring my love and energy into that, and my salah. meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 5 times a day, putting my energy into him, putting my energy into that, and the rest of the pieces will fall into place, inshallah, if that is what's written and that's what's best for me. All that's to say, even one prayer done from the heart matters. And I'm reminding myself of this, and I hope it reminds you too, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees every struggle that we go through. He is aware of every struggle that we go through, and he wants us to turn to him. I just really want to lean into that a lot more for the remainder of this lock-in series, and I'm hoping that with doing that, it helps me lock in all the other areas that maybe I've been struggling with. Basing my whole day around salah will make it easier for me to make time for the gym, to make time for journaling, to make time for, cooking healthy meals. And it all just comes together. And I will continue to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to even make that easier for me and to help. With that, I wanted you guys to pick one small thing that's a weekly goal for you. So for me, it is being intentional with my prayer. But for you, it could be something else. It could be journaling. It could be going to the gym. It could be reading Quran, or simply just having remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whatever it is that you think you've maybe even written off and you're like, oh, we're already halfway through the month, there's no point in me trying out this new habit or this new goal, pick that one, because there's never a right time to start it. It could even be putting on hijab. It could be literally anything. Whatever you've been pushing off or thinking it's too late to start, it's never too late to start, and this is the time to start. That one small habit for you to do is enough, and just start. Literally just start. That's all I'm gonna say. Just start. So I'm gonna end with a dua, of course. May Allah make it easier for all of us to pray our fard prayers every single day and with focus. May Allah make it easier for us to reach our goals that we put in our brains to do at the beginning of this month. May Allah make it easier for us to grow and become the best version of ourselves. Ameen. I'm so sorry, guys, if this is just like a rant episode. I promise this won't always be the case, but I just really needed to get that off my chest. And wallah, I feel so much lighter and lifted and like, okay, I'm a human. This is so normal. This is so okay. I feel so ready to just jump back into my salah with focus and prioritize it. I feel like even saying it out loud is helping me have more accountability on myself. Inshallah, you all can feel the same way about whatever the goal is that you are working on. And next week, we're going to be even more positive, inshallah. We're going to have this week be so productive and exactly what we needed. I will talk to you guys next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.